Nauja Lietuva Amerika serija. Šį kartą dar kartą žvilgsnis į Varšuvą. Šį kartą po rinkimų. Kalbame su Radosław Fogiel, Lenkijos Seimo Užsienio reikalų komiteto pirmininko pavaduotoju, Lenkijos Ukrainos parlamentinės grupės pirmininku ir ilgamečiu PIS partijos tarptautiniu sekretoriumi. Pokalbėje apie Lenkijos ir Lietuvos bendradarbiavimą, gynybos srityje būtent. Apie tai, kur galime eiti dar giliau. Ir taip pat apie būsimas ir galimas užsienio politikos korekcijas Lenkijoje po prezidento rinkimų. Apie Ukrainos narystės perspektyvas Europos Sąjungoje ir NATO, apie mūsų bendrą diasporos potencialą JAV ir apie platesnę regioninę lyderystę, kurios mums visiems gali prireikti jų netolimoje ateityje. Tad gero klausimo, tikiuosi patiks.
So let's start knowing that you are absolutely busy, and thanks for doing it just after elections and in Rome. A little introduction. Vincentas is he's my assistant. With his father, we created Young Republicans or Christian Democrats of Lithuania. And his family re-emigrated from America. So he has the American accent much better than my own. And Radek, maybe, I don't know, I can present you from my side, but you correct me, please, if I missed something. Radek was the best chairman of Foreign Affairs Committee, with whom we traveled everywhere. We crucified DC, trying to push Americans to extend invitation to Ukraine into NATO summit in Vilnius. We went to Rome, to Ukraine, all the front lines of freedom. And he was spokesman of Kaczynski, and he's deputy, he's vice chairman of ECR. Am I right, Radek?
I used to be. Now, when Morawiecki took the chairmanship from Meloni, he took our Polish spot in the board.
Oh my God. Okay. But one of the best really friends I had and I have in Warsaw. I will immediately start with my provocative question.
Perfect.
Radek, we just joined IDU, where we have Platforma and Peace together as a family. But for some reason, I don't know why, when Platforma is in power, they are very European, they are very, international. But we have no meets, we have no joint activities. Lublin Triangle never happened from the times Platforma came to power. Never, Radek. I never met, in this former chairman of Foreign Affairs Committee of Poland. We do not travel together. It's not happening at any other level. So do you think something might change? Because it's not even my party. We have now new coalition in Lithuania. They experience the same. It's like Poland is great, but it's not with us anymore. They are so big that they don't notice the neighbors. Do you think there is a chance to, reinvent this old strategic partnership that brings regions together? We are from Nordic Baltic region. We are from East European region. We are everywhere. But when we move together with you, we are as big as Germany and France. When we glue that regional energy together, do you think there is a possibility to reestablish this energy with new president or maybe even new government?
So I think that the root of the problem here is in the very different approaches by Civic Platform and by Law and Justice to our regional friends and partners. As you perfectly remember, late President Lech Kaczynski was a champion of a regional cooperation and regional partnership, because he never seen Poland as a leader that just tells the other what to do. He always saw Poland as an equal partner that takes the opinion of the others into consideration. And we truly believe that such a regional cooperation gives Poland additional strength, can make us one voice for the whole region, however you would like to call it. post-Soviet, the bad side of the Iron Curtain, or Central and Eastern Europe. But this is the region that we see ourselves working together with all the others. Well, the idea of the Free Seas initiative was strongly, deeply rooted in this idea. And then, on the other hand, there are our colleagues and opponents from Civic Platform who place their focus when it comes to international affairs mostly in the Weimar Triangle. So they want to do as many Weimar formats as it's possible. They believe that Poland should be working only with those two big EU states. Then, if we behave, they will treat us well, and maybe they will offer us something. In my opinion, this is really problematic, and well, it shows a poor self evaluation, basically. But we can observe this every time Platforma is in power. Although, just for a last couple of months, Prime Minister Tusk was very vocal about a broader Baltic partnership. They've suddenly discovered Scandinavian countries, and we are hearing how important it is for Poland to work with Scandinavia. I think even Donald Tusk wasn't aware of some of the Baltic formats, because during one of his speeches in Polish Parliament, he said that he will propose to create format of countries around the Baltic Sea, the one that already actually exists. So these are the words, but I'll hear from your question that not much is happening, unfortunately. Well, I truly believe that Karol Nawrocki, our president-elect, when he takes over, he will try to continue the policy of Andrzej Duda, who is continuing the politics of Lech Kaczynski. I believe it's not a coincidence that President Nausėda was one of the first leaders that he spoke to after his election.
If I may, talking about these elections that just happened, and with Nawrocki's win, I mean, I know a lot of people in Lithuania were actually looking forward to him winning until they heard about his position on Ukraine joining NATO, and I'm interested, is that sort of position gonna continue, or is there any leeway where we can really reinforce the notion that we need to bring Ukraine into NATO and into the EU?
Well, I think his position is mostly connected to his work as a historian. He used to be the head of the World War II Museum in Gdańsk, and well, still is the head of the Polish National Remembrance Institute, which places history in his focus. So that's why when he was asked about Ukraine joining NATO, he made the remarks about NATO being not only a military alliance, not only a security provider, but also an alliance based on values that all the members share. And in this context, he was talking about the casualties, the victims of the Volhynia massacre from the 40s. That unfortunately their bones are still scattered on Ukrainian fields, and this is a in Poland, this is perceived as a national tragedy that well, obviously the fact that this massacre happened, but countries have reconciled. And there are many examples of that, and I think our help to Ukraine when the war started was one of the examples of that. But on the other hand, the sheer fact that the victims haven't had a proper burial, that Ukrainian authorities are withholding excavation works, this is a painful for many people, and I guess Karol Nawrocki, as a historian, wanted to stress that from our perspective, if you want to be together in an alliance and to trust our partners unconditionally, we also need to be on the same page when it comes to honoring our fallen. But it doesn't mean that Polish support for Ukraine, for Ukraine's independence, for Ukraine's cause will soften under his presidency. The thing is that well, we all know this, that basically right now the biggest obstacles on Ukraine's road to NATO, besides waging war, are not in Poland, not even in Hungary or other countries. It's the big players, United States and Germany. And I think by the time those countries will be ready to accept Ukraine, we may speak about a whole new perspective in Poland.
Vincento, you want? Mhm. I mean, if I may, one last thing. I mean, you mentioned, of course, America, and naturally, I think it's quite a turbulent time in the transatlantic relationship as such. And of course, for both Lithuania and for Poland, I imagine we've always imagined America as that real backbone of NATO that is first and foremost in our defense plans, right? But if it doesn't go according to plan, is it in any way possible that we Lithuanians can rely on Poland to defend the region together with us in the absence of America?
I think this is the biggest challenge that we are facing right now. The withdrawal of America. Well, let's not use let's not use such heavy words, but the possibility of America stepping a bit back from Europe, it's been clear for quite a time, even in U.S. official documents, that they are not able to focus on both Europe and Indo-Pacific, and they tend to prioritize Indo-Pacific over Europe right now. So I think what's important, and we're walking on a thin line here, because in my opinion, NATO is crucial. We may have many different European EU initiatives that may mention strengthening our defense capabilities, but the main security alliance is NATO. This opens the question: what should European NATO members do together to make sure that they can fill the vacuum in case America is occupied elsewhere? And that's why we in Poland started modernizing and investing in our defense so much. And obviously we take part in all those NATO policy missions, supporting our friends nearby, and we are always telling our NATO partners, you should do what Poland is doing for a couple of years already. We felt into this fuzzy nice reality after 1989, that history is over. The wars are no more here. We don't need to focus on our defense. It's enough to focus on economy, on trade. Unfortunately, recent events in Ukraine, the horrific attack of Russia proves us wrong, and we have to go back as soon as possible to our to strengthen our military industries, because I'm sad to say that, but two countries, Poland and Lithuania, even with our toughest fighters, we won't withhold the enemy for long. We need the whole European part of NATO to be stronger, and by that we will also gain a strong argument in our discussion with our American partners that look, that's what you've been expecting for quite a time. Europe is stepping up. Europe is spending more. Europe is strengthening its military capabilities.
Radek, just one question about history and the future. Yeah. I remember those times of late Lech Kaczynski, those big summits with Adamkus, like 2006, when Vice President Cheney landed here. We were, for example, pushing this energy, working in energy together, building energy bridges, building LNG terminals, get rid of Russian gas and electricity. And we did it. This vision worked. We've been like the vehicles of pushing Russia out and pushing Europe and NATO in. All the leaders, they were coming to Vilnius, to Warsaw. We've been doing those summits from at least once or twice per year. We had presidential consultative committees working together, from president office to government, even members of parliament, thinking, strategizing together. And now I saw your President Duda coming to this Bucharest and Nordic Baltic leaders meeting, the last summit for your former president. Do you think we could reinvent using the good energy? I hope good energy also with your new president, between our presidents, having those great political links between us. Do you think we can reinvent those high-level meetings, strategic meetings where Lithuanians and Poles are thinking together and trying then to sell that vision to the rest, to Europeans, to Americans, where we have such a huge communities who really matters? Do you think, this harmony, the golden age, like we've been calling, with Lech Kaczynski, the spirit with Adamkus, could be reinvented in some way in the new circumstances?
I hope so. I think it might be possible. Of course, it's way too early to speak about the details of the foreign policy of the newly elected president, and obviously I'm in no position to do that. But I think with goodwill from both sides, and as we said before, the president of Lithuania and President-elect of Poland, they've already reached out to each other. So hopefully they will continue this good energy that was between President Nausėda and President Duda. So I see no reasons why President Nawrocki wouldn't be or shouldn't be open for such a cooperation, such a proposal.
And my final question, on which we ended our formal cooperation with you, Radek, as chairs of Foreign Affairs Committee. You remember I was pushing you, Radek. Do you think one day Polish soldiers can, come to Lithuanian territory, breaking all the stereotypes, historic including, and we just celebrate those military exercises and also German brigade in Lithuania? Do you think one day, for example, Lithuanian, Polish, Ukrainian brigade could, be somewhere close to Kaliningrad and we could build our military muscles together? Though I know that Poles are kind of afraid of that, thinking that we are afraid of that, and that's why some Poles are putting their militaries to Latvia, and I say, why to Latvia? We've been fighting against those Muscovites for centuries together.
That's true. I believe there are people in both our countries that are afraid of the stereotypes, of the historical stereotypes on both sides. Probably, especially Poles on Lithuanian, Lithuanians on Polish. But I believe that since we are together in NATO, then the situation has changed a lot, and I always remember when I was visiting Lithuanian Seimo for the first time. I was so touched seeing the copy of the 3rd May Constitution displayed in your parliament. Because this, for me, this was the sign that we're over our some of our past problems, and we can enjoy both this as our common heritage, as our common empire, basically, that we are able to create. Of course, when it comes to short-term military presence, we've been discussing this in 2023 when we were still in power. I believe no decisions were made, but at least this idea was present on many levels. I know that one of the arguments raised was that first we need to strengthen our own security and upgrade, even in terms of numbers, even in terms of soldiers, our own military before we are able to serve abroad in meaningful numbers. Because the goal that we settled, and I believe and I hope that the new government is intending to upkeep, is a 300,000 ground forces. This should be the sign of the size of Polish army. We are going towards that, and of course, then I think one of our duties will be being one of the most important providers, security providers, together with United Kingdom, maybe the formats, including UK, look promising. They've always been working quite well. They have a very good, very down to earth assessment of what's going on in Russia. They weren't fooled back in the 2000 or 2010 that Russia is changing, that Putin is a business partner, and so on and so on. So that's why I always look towards the British Isles as well.
Thank you, Radek. I feel that Poland is back. I hope you do it in some way in Warsaw. So next week might be crucial, as I hear, for some changes. We'll see. In any case, really thank you for making it so quick after your presidential race. You've been really playing a huge part as always, and hope to see you back on all those international arenas. We need you, Radek, as soon as we can. And you are already in Rome. That has quite a big access to Washington, I hear.
That's true. Yeah. Pleasure to talk to you. Great seeing you, and hopefully see you soon.
Absolutely, Radek. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Very much. Bye.
Tai buvo pokalbis, kuris labai aiškiai primena vieną dalyką. Mūsų regionas šiandien jau pats turi ieškoti atsakymų į saugumo klausimus. Lenkija, Lietuva kartu su Ukraina gali būti tie, kurie formuoja rytinio flango stuburą. Ar tai įvyks? Tai priklauso nuo mūsų valios, nuo mūsų pačių valios ir lyderystės regione. Ir galiausiai prireiks sugebėjimo peržengti formalias bendradarbiavimo ribas. Tad dėkui, kad klausotės, dalinkitės, komentuokite, prašau, ir patys tapkite šių diskusijų dalimi. Ačiū ir iki sekančio.